Hi, I'm Bart, and today's tutorial is about how to create a to-do list like this one here. So we can add something we want to do, we can save it, we can search in it, and we can check if it's done or not. So we've created several files. One is server.js, main.js for JavaScript, CSS, but I haven't installed, and index.html for HTML files. First of all, I've created just a variable to make it easier for me, and I've created a variable which has a function in it, and whenever the function gets the parameter of certain data, for example an array or an object, it goes like over each by for each. For example, if I get an array, it goes on for every object, and it creates a list which has checkbox, delete box, save box, search box, and everything in it. So we just append li to the lu list we have here, just whole thing we have. So here are my search boxes, save boxes, and everything I have. So another thing I do is I create another function which I put in variable refresh list, and whenever I call this function here refresh list, the AX works, and it sends a URL by init to-dos to server.js. Where is init to-dos? Here is it. So whenever I've created a server here also. So we see when method is get and request URL is init to-dos, it does all thing, and response end is JSON. JSON is stringified to-dos. To-dos is this one here, so it just prints what's written here. And so it goes in success and render to-dos. So render is this function, as you know, and it takes a parameter to-dos and goes over each object and creates a list in checkboxes and deletes. So another thing I do is I just wrote that whenever I click search button, the function will work here, and I've put, so this variable search text is equal to the value of search box, or whatever I wrote in search box will be equal to search text. So then I delete everything is in the search box. So AX goes by the URL search to do here. It goes whenever the method is get and the URL is equal to search to do. This works, and response end is JSON, which is again to do's. So success gets the where's success? Success is here. It gets the success gets what is sent from response end JSON, which is to do's. Success gets it, and it creates another variable called local to-dos, and it filters the data. In other words, the to-dos it got, it filters it and takes only those objects which has a message, which take in them search text. So it returns object. So whenever we render the local to-dos, which we now knew that have another objects in it, which so it calls render, and render goes again by local to-dos, which now we have. So the other thing we want to do is to put in new data to save new lists, for example, and we say whenever the save button is clicked, work this function. And we again put the save box value in variable save text, and we delete the value in save box, so it will be clear. So we call AX, and it goes by the URL save to do to the server.js. So whenever in this case the method is paused and request URL is saved to do, it creates a new variable body, and it's empty in the first place. But then when we wrote the request on function, it takes the data that we have sent up here. We send the data by X, we send the data which has a stringified message and completed false. It goes here, and it server gets the data by chunks, and we here create gather chunks, and we get one thing. And then by request on, we end those things. We just parse the body, and we get an object. We put a new ID to that object. We put it by math random. So when we have ID, we just push this new object to our to-dos, and we send the response and stringified JSON object. The response end goes in success, as you know, and refresh list works again by the new to-do list, which has a new object in it. So refresh list works and it calls render by the new to-dos we have. And everything is printed in our browser. So then we want to delete something. We just create a function delete, and we put the X colon it, and we call it by the URL to-dos and plus the ID of the object we want to delete. So it goes to server, and whenever the method is delete, it works as one here. So if request URL is to-dos, that's right, and we create a variable ID, and we the URL, we send it by the URL, and everything up here is in here now, but we want to have only the ID because we want to create a variable that is named ID. So we just delete all these things. We substitute 7 because it's 7 items here, and we only have ID now. We go over the for loop, and if the ID is equal to the ID in our to-dos, for example, if it's equal to this ID, it takes up this one and it deletes it. To-dos place that one. So whenever it gets the one that is equal, it just deletes it, and it sends the response and successfully removed. So we go to success and we go refresh list again, and now our to-dos has one of the objects in our to-dos is deleted, and it prints refresh list, this function here, by the new to-dos, which has one object in it which is deleted. So the other thing we want to do, we want to check whenever the thing we wanted to do is completed. So we create a function document and we put an AX colon it. So whenever the AX goes by the URL to-dos plus eTarget ID, that ID is this parameter here. It goes to the server, and here is the method is put, and the request URL is greater than 0, of course, and we create variable saying data, and it's empty in the first place, but then by the request on function, which has it just takes the data that we sent from here. Yes, we send the data it's completed, is checked. Is checked is just this, it means that this target is checked. And this server takes the data by chunks, and it gathers it by this function, and then when the request on end is called, it just request on end, it just parses the data, send data which we gathered from here, it parses it, and then it creates a new ID for it by just substring 7 to-do and slashes from it, so that the ID only is left. So then by for loop we find the ID that is equal to the, for example, we found the ID that is equal to this ID here, or we go for loop to see which ID is equal to the IDs from the initial to-dos object. So whenever we found that ID that is equal to the initial to-dos object's IDs, we just put it we give it a value of completed, and our response end has a message of successfully updated. So when we go to the success, we just do the same thing. We call refresh list, which is this function here, as you know. This refresh list in success calls the function render with to-dos. Now we know that the to-dos has the to-dos now has the object which has the completed. Whenever we, for example, have checked here, it then has the value of checked. So this to-dos is now updated, and whenever we call that render by that updated to-dos, it prints that updated to-dos in browser. So if you want to see how it works, I'll show you. So for example, if you want to print here, do whatever, sorry. So for example, if we want to add to our list like be happy, we just put the button like save, and we have now be happy. And then if we want to delete it, we can do it. So when we want to check it, when we refresh the list, it is still checked, and we remove the check, it is unchecked. So also we can search all the lists which have an E in them. For example, we search so it works here. If we want to print B, if we want to save something, everything you want, you can do it, and we'll save it. So we have created the list, and we can save anything in it, we can delete anything from it, we can search, and so that's it for today. I hope I've helped.